What's going on, guys? Matt Schaeffer back here with another Musaic audiophile conversion for you. This one in my dream car, 2024 Audi RS6 Avant. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Since I always hit you with the trunk first, we'll go through all this. And obviously there's kind of a lot going on here. First, I'll overlay a quick video showing you the package tray that I built to go in here to make this trunk functional if the client is getting groceries or something like that. So I'll overlay that video right here. So here's a look of the trunk with the trunk liner in. And again, I specifically made this to create an area if he goes grocery shopping or if he uses this to haul anything at any point in time. It's a cover that he can put in that protects the entire floor, the amp rack, and the whole face of the sub enclosure. So when you're looking at this, it looks and appears that everything back here is pretty much factory to a sense. We utilize the same carpet, made this whole tray, which completely locks in, utilizing the same insert that goes into the amp rack. So if you can see there, that locks that floor in the exact location, so this thing can't move back and forth. And again, easily removable. This thing will probably sit in his garage until he has to utilize the car, if he ever does, to transport stuff. That way he doesn't mess up any of the nice work that we did. All right, so getting to the layout of everything that you're seeing, obviously we have our subwoofer enclosure in the back. We have two down-firing 10-inch Brax 10, Matrix 10s, ML10s, two of those down-firing in that enclosure. As you can see, we utilize a lot of the same materials that you see in the interior. We have the cognac leather, we have the black matching leather, we have the black Dynamica suede, and then a bunch of different trim designs that you can see here that we utilized off the interior. So just showing you the door panel real quick, because a lot of the inspiration came from the door panel. So if you're looking at this textured, obviously can't feel it through the video, but it's textured dry matte carbon fiber. And then we have the silver trim that ends right towards the tip of this. And then in here, we have the same concept. We have the same dry carbon, we have the silver trim, and then we brought this orange fiber light into the trunk. Now you can't really see it because it is daytime in here. Maybe I'll try and get a quick little night video. But in the interior, there are orange fiber lights that run through this whole interior. So when you're looking at the trunk, especially at night, it's a lot more prevalent. Can't even really see the orange here. I might as well just overlay a video right now of showing this trunk at night. All right, so this is what it's looking like at night. Obviously you can see that orange glow, that fiber light that runs across the front of that enclosure. When you're looking at the door panels in the interior, you have the same concept. You have that orange fiber light that runs through the entire interior. And you got that orange glow, which if you look down here, you can see there under the console. So that orange theme we just extended into the trunk. We have underneath the enclosure glowing orange. That's obviously where the air is escaping from the subwoofers. And then of course you have the amplifier trim, which has two different layers of acrylic. We have the orange on the bottom and the white on the top. Everything complementary of each other. We also have the lit RS6 logo here as you open up the trunk, which is going to mimic exactly what you see there on the door sill. So again, everything is fully detailed and taken into consideration when it comes to how this is set up. So yeah, no detail left behind. If we also zoom into the Brax logo there, this was all made, lit up, designed. Obviously our straight lines are going to contour to the shape of the trim that it's up against. And then same thing with these down here. As you go all the way down, it starts to mimic the same shape as the trim ring. So back to the design of the trunk. Obviously we have our Brax logo in the center. If you're looking at that small silver trim around the Brax logo, I kind of got that idea from this Quattro logo here in the dash. See that silver trim that goes around it, and then the Quattro emblem lights up there on the dash. So I utilize that same style and design for our Brax logo there in the center. Looks really, really clean. I incorporated this line design off of the Brax logo. Down here's obviously our pass-through, so that's where the air vents out from the subwoofer enclosure. And then we have our amp rack. So I incorporated the same line design that I did up here, brought it down here to where it progressively gets more and more complementary to this bottom shape here. 3 MX4 Pros from Brax. And these are legit amplifiers. These are probably the best of the best that we can really install in car audio today. It's digital from the controller all the way to the amplifier. So even from the DSP to the amp is all digital signal all the way through. So that's huge benefit when it comes to these amplifiers here. They do get a little bit warm, and when we built this amp rack, we have like 14 or 15 fans down there to really circulate air on the heat sinks towards the power supplies to really dissipate that heat. So actually, these amplifiers in this car are probably the coolest that I've ever felt them under heavy duress, like when we've been jamming on it for a long time. We have the silver trim here that matches the silver trim that you see in the door. Same thing with there at the bottom of the subwoofer enclosure. We got matching backless carpet to match what was in the Audi. So we redid this whole floor. We only had to step it up a little bit. As you can see, it's not that high. We do have another amplifier that size, and then another DSP, a Brax DSP, underneath this floor. I can overlay some pictures of this floor design to see how everything is layered. When you open up the door, you see this lit RS6 logo. Again, daytime, you're not really gonna see that, so I might have to get it in a night picture. But RS6 sill logo is exactly what you're gonna see here in the door sill, right? So that same design you will see right here in the opening of the trunk. So again, just trying to take all these elements of design and incorporate it into what we build is gonna make this thing look like it's supposed to be there. We added a lithium ion 12 volt RSVS5 excess power battery back here. That explains this little step up that we created. Again, this is not factory. I reutilized the factory net. I moved it up higher, used the same attach points to make everything work and appear functional, right? So again, you can't even tell that all of that is refabricated in there to get that higher, because we do have a battery that sits right there beside the amp rack. But yeah, factory batteries behind this panel. We have our circuit breaker right there, our main circuit breaker, so we can get to all the fusing and everything. This whole cover right here just lifts completely up. So super simple. It's not that intricate to take apart. We can tear apart all of this really within minutes. Just to kind of show you that battery that I was talking about. I can lift that up. Now we have a panel here that we created. Try and do it with one hand. And just like that, we have access to our excess power battery. You see the magnets there on top. There's magnets below this panel here, and everything just slides into place. I mean, it's really that easy. Like, it just snaps in, good to go. We can bring this back down, get that back in the hole, and boom, look at that. I mean, it's just that simple. So when you have a lot of equipment like this that is very large, design and engineering is everything. A good design is going to make this stuff functional while retaining the most amount of space. And as you can see there, that's the trunk cover that slides into that amp rack cover that makes this whole thing a usable trunk. So again, that will just reside probably in his garage. If he ever has to use this trunk for whatever, air can still vent. It's vented in the back, air can move all the way through. And of course, every time the subwoofer is moving air, it also moves air underneath this panel into the amplifiers and up and out. So again, super smart design. I really am very excited with how all of this turned out visually and obviously function wise. Now to show you the interior. The only thing that we really changed on the interior cosmetically, you know, generally you see us do A-pillars and stuff like that. The only thing we built on this is pods for the tweeters. So if you're looking at that pod, that tweeter pod, you can see all of these lines, both those match with this chamfer here. The line matches the line coming down here. Obviously you can see down here the OEM grill, you have the silver top. We changed that B&O aluminum insert in the center that is black that you see there that says Brax. We changed that, painted it, lasered the Brax logo on there, and then we did the same here on our tweeter pod. And then you can see the black bottom grill there to the black bottom grill of this 6-inch Brax that sits behind this door panel. Right here, the mid-range factory location, it's the ML3 from Brax, and then of course we have the ML1 tweeter from Brax. But as you can see, that factory door panel design really complements the tweeter pod that we built that looks super fresh. And of course, if I put down the window, we go to the back of the pod, and the back is the matching Dynamica suede. So everything is fully thought of, no attention to details lost in these tweeter pods. So that's another look at the tweeter pod in the driver door, complementary to the Brax ones that we remanufactured here. But again, same type of OEM design. And then as far as the interior goes, just like every other car you've seen us do, essentially we utilize 3 different presets. Preset 1 is going to be the OEM radio, which is what you see here, the OEM MMI unit. We use a nav TV interface, a Zen V, which is tucked up there underneath the kick panel. And that is going to give us a digital input directly to our DSP from the factory radio. So we're going to have a perfect digital out, no issues with crossover points or clipping or anything like that. We're going to have the pure signal that we can gain from the factory radio is going to go to the DSP via a Toslink cable, and that is preset 1 using the nav TV interface. Preset 2 is going to be an HEC BT input directly into our Brax DSP. And that's going to allow us to stream our phone directly to the DSP. When you have a car that has a factory interface, it's not as important to have this as a source. However, it's only a $150 addition to get that source in there. So it's going to give you another source directly in that may be a little bit more robust based on the codec from the phone directly to the Bluetooth module, which is docked in the DSP versus going through the factory radio through the nav TV interface to the DSP. So it's a little bit more organic of a signal. Also, there is no latency when you're playing like YouTube videos or something like that, where you want the words to obviously match with the video. So the Helix Bluetooth module does a really good job when it comes to perfect latency with the video. Now preset 3 is going to be our Astel and Kern SP3000 digital audio player. This is our DAP. The reason we're going to utilize this is for the DACs that are built into this unit. We go analog out, that way we can process anything that the Astel can play, including DSD. If I were to go digital out of this player into the Brax DSP, the most we could process is 24,192. So any DSD or anything like that would be on the player, I would not be able to physically play. So that is one of the drawbacks of that. The spaciousness when you're playing something like this opposed to the Bluetooth, the only way that I can describe it is it feels like you sit in a car that's twice the size of the source you were listening to it prior. So the width, the depth, the stage size in general just gets a lot more robust. Anyone that sits in here instantly understands the difference of playing the phone to playing this. Great as the phone sounds, obviously once you play this, the sense of space inside this car just absolutely changes tenfold. Makes you sound more like you're sitting in a room rather than a car. So that's the best way I can describe this. And again, this is the SP1000 from Astel and Kern. This is pretty much the flagship of what they have. They've had the SP1000, the 2000, the 3000. In the future, I'm sure they'll have the 4000, but this is their flagship, and there is a massive difference between this and other units that they carry on the market. So we really only sell the SP3000, and as you can see here, not only can you download music directly to the player, but you can utilize a lot of streaming services that most people already use from their phone. There's also a bunch of available ones to download. It's saying I don't have an internet connection, but there you go. So these are additional things that we can download onto the player. So if you have like a hotspot within your car you can utilize any of these services that you were playing on your phone before, play it from much better DACs to get much better sense of space within the car. That's how we recommend playing this unit. And as you can see here, I'll just unplug it. We have a magnet on the back. So we created this modular holder that's magnetic that can go directly into his cup holder. Fits in there snug. It has the wire ties for the analog cable. This magnetizes directly to that, and you can plug it directly in. If you need to use the cup holder, obviously, you know, both, you could just take it out, throw it in the glove box. It can turn obviously to the driver, or if I'm the passenger doing the demo, I can use it very easily from the passenger side. So super cool thing that I started to do on a lot of these cars to make using the player a lot more easy in a normal driving scenario. Talking about those presets, this is the thing that will change the presets. This is the Helix conductor, which is going to be your DSP controller. Right now you're seeing main volume. That's going to represent how loud the main volume is. If I hit that once, that's going to be subwoofer volume. If I hit it again, that's going to be preset. So right now it's on the Bluetooth preset. If I want to go to the analog input for the DAP, put on 3, and right now I'm on the 3rd preset. Everything switches over, and right now I can utilize this whole player for audio. As you can see, everything just came through. Just turn the line out on. So just like that, everything is good to go. It uses a line out from this directly to the DSP. So 2-volt out directly into our DSP, and everything is good to go. This would control the main volume, and that's really how easy the system is to use. We actually keep the factory center channel on a switch, so when we're on preset 2, preset 3, not using the factory radio, we can flip the switch and the factory center is still connected to the radio. Therefore, if I get a phone call, that voice will fully come through the factory center, and I can communicate with the car. Obviously the speaker's still connected to the MMI unit, utilizing the Bluetooth source, you know, the phone call, and we can have that conversation while I'm on a completely different audio source, preset 2 or preset 3, not using the factory radio. Sometimes it's a little bit complex to understand that through, you know, YouTube, but it is very simple to have the luxury of the factory options like Bluetooth while using a completely different source and not having to switch presets back to preset 1, the OEM radio. So everything is pretty much thought about. If you stick around and you see the other video that we put out for this car, it's going to be based on the radar and laser system. So we got Escort, Redline, full installed radar system, and we have the AL priority system. We did a very, very OEM-like install. So if you hang around till after this video, it'll be attached to the end. Go ahead and check out the system we did for that. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for following all these builds. It's because of you I get to do builds like this. It's very awesome to make people's dreams come true and make people's passion come to life with these builds. This build was no exception. We just demoed the car to the client earlier today, and it was just an amazing time and a great payoff for all the hard work that goes into something like this. So again, thank you guys for trusting in me, believing in me, and giving me the keys to your car to build something that truly sounds awesome, right? This is probably one of the best cars we've ever put out through our shop. It's just very accurate, sounds absolutely amazing. The imaging is perfection, the width, the depth, everything about this car. The extension of the sub bass, the way that the transfer function of the subs work in this car, the low bass, I mean, there's just nothing more you can ask for out of an audio system. It's just been truly a pleasure to listen to, and I'm actually kind of sad to give it back to the client. But if you need to contact me for a job, here's my phone number followed by my email address. These are the 2 best points of contact. Obviously, you can follow me on Instagram. Here's our 3 handles below. Make sure that you follow me on TikTok. I put out a lot of different small videos regarding the job on TikTok before it makes it to YouTube. So if you want to see stuff we're doing at the time we're doing it, follow me on TikTok. Obviously, check out our website, musaicdesign.com. This is the best spot to utilize all of the content that we've put out, including the full build logs for the videos, in each project that we've done. You can find everything there. You can search by make, manufacturer, collection type, anything like that. Go ahead, check out our website. It's probably the best resource. If you haven't subscribed to us yet, subscribe to us on YouTube. Make sure you hit that alert notification letting you know every time we drop a new video, because obviously if you like this one, you're going to like probably the next one that we do. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And then finally, check out our podcast. It's called the Old Fashioned Car Audio Podcast. It's a podcast that we started, my friend and I, Gary Bell, to educate a lot of either DIYers, enthusiasts, or potential clients, to let them understand what to expect in car audio in 2024, how to get good audio, what needs to happen, what the OEM manufacturers are doing. When you purchase a new car with Bose or Burmeister, what does that mean? What are you actually getting? What can the aftermarket provide you? All of these questions we really answer and talk through in full detail. So I would say check out many episodes we've done. We have about 40 so far. Go ahead and check us out. It's called the Old Fashioned Car Audio Podcast. We're streaming everywhere, including Spotify. And like always, guys, I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate you guys following along. And until next time. Forgetting you don't love me no more. Keep forgetting you don't